McDonald. Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. He's back, the original favorite.
Thank you.
Comedic life partner, Chris Franjola.
Thank you. Now, I just want to know, because I've been listening a lot to Juicy Scoop.
Thank you.
I've
I need the
taking
listeners.
some road trips. I love it.
Yeah.
And will it be just me? Will this episode start right now with me, or
Yes.
are you going to do some stuff up
No,
front?
I'm not. No, this is
Because I feel like
it.
that the people who are weaker guests, you do your whole thing up front, and
Yes.
then they come in and for 15
like
minutes.
Justin was the full episode.
Okay.
Sarah was, I think.
Yeah.
Was Sarah? I might have done a little topper for Sarah. I can't remember. You're the full. Sometimes there's certain things I need to address.
Right.
But no, you are. This is the full episode
Okay.
with Chris Franjola, and like. I mean, the fact that you write under Justin's thing, under Instagram, you're like, I remember when I was on. I'm like, you're coming on Tuesday. I love it.
I know. It's just
It's
for
like
fun.
it's like my son's.
I know.
It's like I'm just so.
Sometimes I get, I have time to kill, whatever.
Yeah,
and I'm
and just
on
go and
Instagram.
harass people on that.
harass you and Britney Spears.
Oh, we have so much to discuss. Now, you came in hot. I'm going to talk about Tom Girardi. You came in hot talking about, I thought you were talking about how unattractive Tom Girardi was, but it is my coat rack, which is now part of our Juicy Scoop
I know.
office.
I'll have to say this about the coat rack. I followed the entire story. I
Thank
followed
you.
the auction. I followed
spent
you
a lot
guys
of
picking
time
it
on it.
up.
Yeah.
It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen
Right.
in my life. As a guy who has a bit of an eye for, like interior
Yes.
design, I like to think, that is something you get at Goodwill. Or something that Goodwill won't even accept. Like, you'll give it to them like, we're good on that. We have a lot of coat racks here.
Here's the thing. In doing the online auction, I wanted something that was officey, not like a bottle of wine or
Right.
something.
No,
but I didn't want like his painted photograph. I didn't want like a chair that he sat in. But I
Right.
wanted something and that could live here. And I agree it's ugly, but you're not the first person that said it. But hey, but I also read that they made like $8 million off this auction. Just
Wow.
from the office. Now, I don't know if that's true. I hope it's true because
Yeah.
the money goes to victims. But meanwhile, Tom Girardi supposedly went into this senior living.
Yeah.
But the attorney, who is the trustee's attorney, Ronald Richards, who's just on the internet all the time posting, he was on my show and he was like, he's got to get out of that Pasadena mansion. No one's going to want to buy that Pasadena mansion when he's like fumbling around and it's like not staged. So
Oh, you mean people are going to go see the house
to
and
buy
he's
the
in it.
house, like the
Yeah.
$10 million house. But so then they said, okay, now he's in this assisted living, and there's a photo of him here with his mask down, and Ronald Richards and other people said, I call bullshit. This looks like a staging thing. So now Ronald Richards is posting like, here, no sign of Tom. He's just like an inside of the lobby of the retirement or the assisted living place.
That's just
Yeah,
well,
and
it's
then
like a
and then
nice
another one of just people eating, and then he scratches out their faces. The other elderly people, Tom not here either, and I'm like, so he doesn't think he's really there. He thinks the
Yeah.
whole Alzheimer's thing is not true.
He's probably looking around for a place to hang his coat because you took. Where do I put this damn coat?
Well, when I found out he was at this assisted living place in Burbank, which is not too far from Pasadena, which makes sense. My friend, whose mother at one time was very friendly with him and his first wife. I mean,
Yeah.
she's old. The mom's like 90 as well. He was
Yeah.
like 83. I said, do you think that your mom could put a request in to visit him and I could come along?
Oh my God, that would be great.
I know. But now they
I don't
say he's
think
not
we're-
even there.
Yeah.
And they were refusing packages that come to him. So they believe this whole thing's a thing that, he doesn't have Alzheimer's and he's like hanging out in like some other joint.
He suffers from the thing I always talk about.
What?
I just like showing up one day, black eye, nobody knows
Yeah.
why.
Yes,
It just happens when you get to a certain age. You just start getting scabby and bruises. And he is a classic case of just
Yes.
one day with the black eye, and it's like, oh,
And they're like, how did he
no.
get that black eye?
It
I'm like,
just
who
happened.
the hell knows? Like bumped into something,
No,
whatever.
just sleeping.
My pillow.
Yeah, right. I think that house you just showed, I think I did stand up there. I did like a pilot for this terrible show where you do like stand up.
Okay,
where we
Chris, I was part of this. Yes,
Were
I
you?
was. Okay, right after Chelsea lately, these guys
Yes, those
reached out
guys.
to me, and then they said, do you know anybody else
That's
that
right.
you could do
Oh,
this with?
that's right.
They wanted to do a prank show like Girls Behaving Badly.
And we just show up and do stand-up.
But with just like comedians doing comedy type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'd have to do comedy and all these, and we would challenge each other like a group of real friends, almost like who are the guys that the prank guys?
Yeah, the Staten Island guys. Yeah.
What is that called? Peter, that show that we watch all
Unusual
the time.
Suspects or
No, those 4 guys that do the pranking on each other that the boys love, and they challenge each other. I can't with your feet.
Peter's very comfortable, like very comfortable.
I talk about the sandals. The sandals are a sponsor. We do love the sandals. And he said, I have to take off my sandals so I don't make sound on the hardwood floors when I walk around. But it's like...
But he also came in very wet, like from the shower.
Literally.
Like
it's
very wet.
We're recording this kind of early. It's 9:30 a.m. But I was like, oh my God, I know Chris is like family, but Jesus, can you like up the professionalism at Dad?
Like he came in so wet that I'm getting. Do you guys not have towels at the house? I feel like he ran out of the house soaking wet.
I mean, we do live very close to our office.
But I mean, you got to, from here, I know where you guys live and I know where the office is. That's a little bit of a dry up time. He didn't dry up at all.
I mean, okay, whatever that's called, those guys that prank each
Yeah.
other. The show was supposed to be that.
Right.
So comedians, we would challenge each other. So I bring you, and you recommend 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah.
Finally, they're going to shoot this pilot, and it was going to be like horrible, like where are some horrible gigs comics have to perform? And it was going to be at an assisted living place. And I couldn't do it that day, or the contract was so lame, whatever.
No.
It went nowhere.
Oh.
You told me I thank God I didn't do it, but I think you did it so was it an assisted
I think
place?
it was that assisted
In
living.
Burbank? What?
Yeah.
Impractical Jokers. It was supposed to be like that. These guys had this
Yeah.
idea. So they're just going to like utilize our communicability and give us like no money. I'm
Yeah.
sure you got no money for the
No
pilot.
money,
Yeah,
zero.
of course. Why would
Yeah.
you ever get paid?
And I had like,
Why would you ever get paid? What? Of course, the audio person and the everybody on set gets paid, but why pay the person who's actually on camera creating all the content?
I know.
Yeah.
And the other thing was like the people didn't even want to be there. The elderly people, and they got nothing to do.
I know, and even they are like,
and they're like, they were like walking out mid-show, like, what is this?
And so you had to do stand up for the elderly people.
For the assisted living people, and it was, and that picture of them in the dining room, because we did it in the dining room, and some of them were just like, we just want to eat our potato salad and move on.
Yeah.
Because assisted living is so strange. It goes, you could be as young as 55,
Right.
and as old as 105.
Yeah.
You're in the same place,
Right.
And some people at 55, you're fine, and
Yeah.
105, you need some help, and so it's very odd. Like they should break up the ages. It should,
Well, it's like a high school.
Yeah, right.
Like here are the seniors, here are the juniors, here
Right.
are the yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law belongs to like a very kind of happening one. I mean, and sometimes we need her to come to like help with Brandon, and she's like, well, I've got a dinner, I've got a play, I've got this, and then I have my gardening class, and then I'm meeting with the girls, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's grandmother day at the school. Well, I can't. And I was like, okay, it is your last grandchild to like do anything with.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to. Okay, grandma. Like,
It
no,
sounds nice.
She's awesome, but she has a very busy life.
Yeah.
I just remembered that she listens to Juicy Scoop.
Yeah, she's like, wow. I guess I'll have no gardening day because Brandon needs me. I went one time. My friend got married.
At an assisted living.
Well, his grandmother was so old that they went and did a thing for her,
Oh,
just
that's
for her.
cute. I thought she was getting married. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
She probably thought she was. Is it my day? No, not. But then I just like the whole thing was just like it was a weird one away out in Van Nuys, whatever. And I just remember like seeing the calendar of events. Like it wasn't one of them said McDonald's Day, and I'm like, oh, if there's ever a time where I'm like, it's McDonald's Day. Like I was like, just.
I know when they try to make it like it's fun,
Yeah.
like there's a fun activity.
Right.
Well, whatever. He's not there.
A lot of moaning.
He's
A lot
still
of
got a
moaning. You just hear
girlfriend.
moaning in the hallways, like
Okay,
a lot of
come
that.
on.
No.
Wait, listen. I have to say, we're gonna have a lot of hot topics to cover, but
Okay.
I want everyone to know I'm covering all the Tom Girardi stuff, and stuff. And I have a glam squad person coming that she paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to. That's all going to be Thursday show. So I'm going to cover more of that later. Let me get into my topics with you. This just came out. Did you hear this story? A mother attacked a mountain lion after it dragged her 5-year-old son across the lawn. I first want to say I just heard the child is okay.
Oh, good.
He's recovering. He's going to be okay. So she's in Calabasas. Her son is 5 years old. He's playing on the lawn.
Right here, close to where we
She's there.
Yeah.
A mountain lion comes, drags it. He has wounds like on his head and neck, but like I said, he's going to be okay. She ran out and started punching this thing with her bare hands.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about, I would do the same thing.
Of course.
I think any mother would. But I'm going to say something that might get us in trouble with a couple PETA people.
Uh-oh.
Fuck the mountain lions.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So Peter and I, when we were on our super fun day at the Century City Mall, I saw a big billboard saying, please donate to building these bridges and everything throughout Los Angeles so the mountain lions can cross the street and go to other mountain lion places to hang out. You know, like they're just stuck at their one mountain lion. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Of all the things that we need to address in Los Angeles.
Right.
Maybe making their life like more fun and convenient. Now, someone might say, well, if they could cross the highway, they wouldn't be hanging out in Calabasas. How do I know that?
Right, yeah.
They could still be in Calabasas is pretty nice. Oh, no, we'd rather be in Studio City.
Right.
If we just had a place to cross. I mean, what are we doing? Like, was this like, I'm sorry. The only other good thing about this is it's a great defense for when your husband goes mountain bike riding or you say he did and he never comes back.
Yeah.
He never comes back.
Right.
Peter likes to go mountain bike riding up through the Santa Monica Mountains, the whole thing. And that is mountain lion heaven. And so all I have to do if something was to happen to him is just that he went mountain bike riding, throw the bike somewhere, make it look mangled.
I'm not going to say nothing against Peter, but it is going to take one hell of a mountain lion to drag Peter off. You're going to need like 6 mountain lions.
Well, there are whole families.
Yeah.
There's a lot of incest, because they can't cross the street and meet other women. That's true. I watched a whole thing on it.
Really?
They're like, this is why they're becoming like so mean because they've been like screwing their own children.
Yeah.
Because no one will let them cross the street and meet some other families. It's like
Wow.
they've been living in COVID for a long time. They'd like to see some other families. They were like, want to cross the street.
I'm going to have to read up on mountain lions. I didn't realize it was that interesting.
I mean, what a badass mother. But no, it is really scary. The mountain lions, the coyotes, they don't give a shit. And literally shits, sometimes we know when we see a coyote shit. There was one on our driveway the other morning. I acted like I didn't see it so that Peter would clean it up.
I've had a few in my backyard.
Do you just leave it for your wife to clean up?
No.
I do.
But I don't know if it's raccoon or a coyote, but it's a big, or human, which I don't even want to think about. You know what I mean? Like, it could be.
It is. So, yeah, they're everywhere. And I've seen tons of bunnies, by the way. More bunnies than I've ever seen in my life.
Nature's healing itself.
Hopping around. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, could you eat the bunnies, mountain lion? They're everywhere. Like, could you have just a platter of bunnies instead of like a human?
I feel like it would be, nicer to eat too.
I know.
I'm seeing a lot of coyotes like in the middle of the afternoon walking down
they
my
don't.
street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
It
used
used
to
to
come
seem
out
at
at
night.
night because they were like embarrassed, like
Yeah.
we're bad. No, now coats shiny.
Yeah.
Walking around, they're like, hey.
I know. 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
I know. They don't care.
I know. It's wild.
It's them and the sharks. They're having a moment. The sharks and the
Why,
coyotes.
what are the sharks up to?
Oh, just coming close and eating everybody.
Really?
Yeah, just like.
I hadn't heard that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Maybe,
they're
are they
like,
fucking their sisters as well?
I guess like they are just everywhere, and yeah, people can't believe that I like still want to go in the ocean and stuff. But,
Yeah, be careful.
yeah. Okay. So that happened. That was pretty exciting. I talked about how ugly the clothes are.
I saw your
recently on Nordstrom.
Instagram post.
And this was sent to me from a Juicy Scooper. This is from the Nordstrom.com online store. And it is what looks to be a hospital nightgown paired with very long, heavy, old-fashioned gloves that you'd use to clean.
Mm-hmm.
but it actually wraps around and it's a coat that hangs around. So you put the coat on and then you just have the gloves, and you're just supposed to go out with these big gloves hanging out looking chic, and you can buy that at Nordstrom.
This is an actual thing to wear out? I
Yeah.
thought she was cleaning the sink or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's not. No, this is what you're supposed to wear and get from Nordstrom.
That is off. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Good looking and looking good is out. It's gone
out.
and it's out. And we're going way too far the other direction. We are overcorrecting way too much.
I mean, can a pretty person just
wear a nice
live?
outfit?
Yeah.
I
Just like first of all, just aesthetically, like you're seeing things. When people go, it hurts my eyes. I feel like there's so much shit that's like hurting my eyes. Like I
Right.
literally don't want to look. This is hideous. Meanwhile, in Italy was the big Dolce and Gabbana. Everyone's posting. Cardi B was there. Megan Thee Stallion was there. Kris Jenner was there. Courtney and Travis. J-Lo, of course. Some big thing in Italy.
Is it Megan the Stallion? It's Megan the Stallion.
With two E's?
Two E's, yeah. Like Kermit the Frog. Remember I used to say that? It's not just Kermit the Frog. It's Kermit the Frog.
Oh, okay.
And I think Megan the Stallion is the same way.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, just, I don't want you to make a fool of yourself out there with the kids.
So you're going to be Chris the comedian. Yeah.
So that's the Dolce and Gabbana. Wow, she looks good.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know where Ben is at this point. Smoking a cigarette somewhere, being annoyed. But so she's there, of course. But then, all these, Dolce & Gabbana is not what it used to be, I think. Like, it's like very now, like about the hip hop world, everything. It used to be like only the richest society people, but who cares? So they were there, and a person did a TikTok on this. Now, I am not criticizing her child, but exactly what we're saying. Her child is young. This is Gen Z. She's 13. But your mom is J-Lo. This person did a TikTok on it, and her daughter has blue hair that looks like Sophia's in Golden Girls.
No, I honestly thought it was a costume of Sophia in
No,
Golden
and she has
Girls.
glasses and hair. And I've joked about this, like, because there's times where in Mackenzie's repertoire of wearing clothes that I was like, like, why are you trying to look ugly, girl? Like this, I'm like, your mom is J-Lo. Do you just go complete opposite? And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to. And the blue hair is not even like solid blue. Like it's turning green because it's like, who knows, some sun involved. Glasses. I mean, she just,
Is this Mark Anthony's kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of the twins.
It's a tough age, It's 13's a tough one.
Look, she's totally cute, but I'm saying she's not in the. I mean, you have J-Lo who is just impeccably dressed, hair, makeup, always, every second. Maybe this is the rebellion.
Right. Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if your mom is like, that you're like, no, I'm actually going to wear, like, no makeup. I'm going to wear, like, non-fitting clothes. I just don't care. Like, that's your rebellion. Like, so if you came from really preppy parents, you would be a punker.
Right.
Back in our day.
Yeah.
To, like, rebel against your preppy
You
parents.
never had any rebellious. Did you have any rebellious clothes phase, like wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt?
Absolutely not. I used to wake up at 9 years old and be like, Mom, is today a May Basket Tea Day? That's where we would go to the Sheraton at the Universal.
Wow.
It was only once a year, but I wished it was every Saturday for Valley Debs because my sisters were in it. They were older. And
Valley Debutantes.
Yes, little tea sandwiches and a fashion show at the top of the Sheraton.
Wow.
The smell of it, the pinkness. I'd wear a cute outfit. I mean, and sometimes I would say that to my mom because there were a lot of people that were like doing that edgy look.
Right.
And I was like, do you know how lucky you are that I'm like hot rollers and like clean looking? Like, I mean, come on. Everything you dreamed of. But
there was a time, from what I remember, and now looking back on it, having a child now and knowing what you were going through with young kids during Chelsea Lately, there was a lot of warm-up suits. You were doing like a whole matching pant and jacket warm-up suit throughout the entire run of Chelsea Lately, baby. Not a juicy suit. I wouldn't call it.
No, they were juicy.
Oh, they were
I
juicy
actually could
suits?
afford the real
okay.
juicies.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
with that Writers Guild money. But and I remember then they made fun of it in After Lately, and I didn't realize how, again, like maybe that was inappropriate that I was wearing sweats to work.
I don't think so.
But now everybody wears sweats.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was kind of like, oh my God, Heather, like, why are you wearing a sweatsuit all the time?
Yeah.
And I just was like, well, this is what I wear as a mom, and it's just so easy because you're bending down and getting your kid.
Right.
So you don't want to be in heels and
You got to
tight
get him out
jeans.
to school. You
Yeah,
gotta,
put him in the car seat, the whole
Right.
thing. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. This is really sad, but the hurricane, I know people are suffering, but we're going to take it right to a comedy level.
Al Roker.
How did Al Roker, okay, I was watching last night, people reporting on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, get out of this storm. Like, you're about to be washed away.
Yeah.
And then Al Roker was there, and I'm like, he's a pretty beloved character, and he's pretty old.
72 or
Like,
something.
why are they sending him there? And how did he get there? If the weather is so bad,
Yeah.
how did he fly there? Did he drive there? How did they get
They
there
probably
for him to
landed
stand in the
further
storm?
away and then drove a couple of hours or something. But
Oh.
I don't listen. I watched this clip where it almost looked like there was someone with a bucket throwing the water. That's how bizarre it looked. He was getting hit so hard that I thought they were going to pan out, and it was like a joke. There's someone with a bucket of water.
Like, I wonder if he's like, because I would think at this age and this seniority,
Yeah.
you'd be like, I'm not going out in the hurricanes
Right.
anymore. Or is he like, oh my God, just when I thought that we had the worst hurricane, there's another one coming historically, and I don't want to miss it. Like, this is a career highlight, the worst hurricane in history. Get me in there. Because I would think at that point,
Right.
like everyone I know that worked the news and stuff, like they didn't want to do red carpets after a while. They didn't want to like be on the field being like, hello, I'm at this hospital.
You send Jenna Bush Hager out for that stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to.
You know, she goes out for the field.
Not anymore. She's
no,
huge.
she's
she
big
took
time
Kathy
now.
Lee's spot.
I know, but that's the third hour. It's still
It's-
not the first hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I would think someone like him, but that's what I think. I think it's such a big deal that he doesn't want to miss out on it.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Because look, I mean, this is a big we're talking about, and he's Al Roker.
Well, we hope everybody is safe, including Al Roker.
It's I think it was like the anniversary of Katrina. Like it happened the same day, whatever. How many years later? I don't
Well, that's
know.
not fun.
I know it's crazy,
Oh.
but yeah.
Okay. So here's some juicy scoop. Farrah Abraham wants to sue Harvard, saying they were educationally abusive.
To her?
Plans
And
to
wh-
sue.
Why did she try and get in?
Okay, this is this thing. Harvard basically is like a Phoenix Online. They have this whole like online thing that anyone can sign up for. I don't think you even have to have a high school degree. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear these people, oh, I'm going to Harvard. I'm going to Harvard. She's in a Harvard class doing a Zoom class. And she said they didn't treat her with respect. And then they kicked her out of the Zoom. And then they said, I really think you should drop this class. So, yeah, she's saying that while taking the online course as part of a creative writing master's program with Professor Belanca, she was kicked out without explanation and claims that this professor is also, is discriminating against her. And also, she also says that she was the most person of color in the course because she's Syrian, Italian, and Danish descent.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
And Harvard is a joke. It's a scam. That's my Harvard review. So she went and left a Yelp review and said that she now has removed the school from her credentials because she couldn't provide proof. Oh, okay, sorry. Abraham's issues with Harvard began in May when LinkedIn removed the school from her credentials because she couldn't provide proof that she was actually a student. When she later added the university back onto her profile, Page Six reached out and asked why. She responded, because I pay, because I go there. So anyone can go on these.
I didn't know
But
that.
a lot of people brag about it. You don't know, there's been rappers and
who go to Harvard, take the Harvard
yeah, and
classes?
I think Nick Ritchie, who was our guest, said he was going to Harvard. And I think you can get a good education out of it, but when you say you're at Harvard,
Yeah.
I think people think you actually got your degree or whatever or applied.
Right.
And even though it's online, it's as difficult to get into as it is for an 18-year-old kid to get into, which it is not, obviously.
I don't know anything about Farrah Abraham. She might be a very educated, smart person, but
She's
I'm
not
gonna.
very educated because she's a teen mom, but she's getting education.
But I mean, there are teen moms who I'm sure are educated. I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess she's not the Harvard material. And that's not a lot of people aren't Harvard material.
Well, she's provided for herself all these years. She, yes, she has the porn background.
Yeah, there was some hardcore, intense stuff, I believe, in the porn.
Well, it was masturbation. And then she also made money on making a mold of her asshole.
Yeah, I think that's probably why Harvard frowned upon having her there. Like, we got a lot of students here. Nobody's asshole's been molded ever in Harvard.
But also,
history.
why is she taking creative she should be doing marketing, not creative writing.
Right.
Because that was a pretty creative marketing plan. That was ahead of her time. That was before OnlyFans. She is the only teen mom that never had another child. Like, her daughter's like 10 or 12 now. Her mom is really a kook to follow. Her mother, Farrah's mom, has a music career.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she has these songs. I follow her. They're the worst.
Can I get a mold of her butthole? Speaking of things that are having a moment, you were talking before about.
Wait, can I just sing you the song
Yeah,
that
go
she
ahead.
has? She has the song that's called "Do the Bobo." The mother, who's like,
is this a recent
55.
song?
Yeah, it's just follow the mom. Her name's Danielle. She's on Instagram, and she's like, now for my new song, I do the Bobo, a Bobo, and it's like, rah, rah, like it's no. You could like download her songs.
Oh, I can't wait to get.
Okay,
home.
what were you gonna say?
I was speaking of things that are having a moment. You were saying earlier, ugly clothes and some other things.
Yeah.
I know the butthole is having a moment. People
Tell
are.
me.
You haven't heard
What?
you're not really out on the comedy scene much. Outside of like doing your headlining
Oh,
shows.
okay. So there's a lot of bits about it.
Every young comedian, everybody, every TikTok, every
Yes.
Instagram, butthole, eating it. We're doing it. Everybody's down there having fun with it.
I wonder if
I
you
feel
and I
like-
saw the same female comedian recently.
No, it's I'm
Okay.
male, female,
Okay, because
everybody.
I went to a show in the audience to support my friend at the Soho House. He kept asking me to go, Jorge
Wow.
Perez. And I'm like, I'm just going to go. I just kind of want to see what comedy is like, but I don't want to go up. So I went to the Soho House. It was nice, comfortable seats. And the comedians were very, like, a couple of them were very funny. I mean, classic, funny, hilarious, like,
Yeah.
Adam Hunter, who's always funny.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
so, but then this girl got up there, and I want to support female comics. I don't remember her name, but there were some things that were okay. And then it got completely into asking someone to, a story of like, when you're asking a stranger to eat your butthole out,
See?
whatever, and then you accidentally shit on them. I'm like,
What?
Yes, this is the bits.
Oh no.
And I'm like, God.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can't
telling
talk
you.
about folding jeans at the Gap or anything. Like, not
Something.
waiting tables,
I
not
know.
your mom's from Germany, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you've got nothing else to discuss in your life but this.
Every single comedian. I'm out every night at a different show here in LA.
Okay.
I'm saying every single comedian under
It's a
30.
staple.
I'm male
So
and
there's
female.
COVID jokes.
Weed joke, COVID
COVID
joke, butthole eating joke. Every single one. And I don't know if it's a hot topic right now. So
I just think that's why I always said, and I've been saying this since the Chelsea Lately days, and people used to say, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I'm staying married
this is my favorite
because
thing
I
you
don't want to
you-
deal with the butthole. I'm not ready to do anal. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. And everybody is treating their asshole
I
like,
know.
like it's just like free game.
Yeah.
And if you do not get that thing lubed up before you, like, I feel like almost like people before they go out have to, like,
Get
get
ready.
it prepared
Yeah.
because they don't want an awkward situation.
I know.
And I'm just like, God. And then someone said, no, Heather, you're overreacting. It's not like that out there. And now you tell me it is, at least with comedians. Well, I guess they don't have much to offer.
Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you that, what's hot right now. And I don't think there's anything hotter right now. I'm not saying hot in a sexual way. I'm saying it's having a moment more than ever. And maybe not for everybody, at least in the comedy world.
I think that people that don't do it don't want to talk about not doing it because then it's like, well, no one's going to ask them out.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, like, my God. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
good
I'm
for
sorry-
them.
sorry
I
to get
don't
it off
know.
track
Well,
here.
anyway, she was again ahead of her time
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because this was like 10 years ago.
She was
that
molding it.
Yeah, that she did this. and that you could just So
Yeah, I feel like with those molds, I see all the people doing it, like all the porn girls, they mold it and they're like, this is mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's an actual, because I feel like it's just like
do
there's
you
a factory where the guy's
do
just
you
like.
really have to go?
Yeah.
Like, you know how people would get like a bust made of their face or whatever?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
do they really have to be like,
plaster.
oh, okay, hold on. Hold your breath. You know how, like, whenever people would do, like, the bust the face, I
Yeah.
always, or, like, even when they did the masks for Sean and Marlon for white chicks,
Yeah.
it was very freaky because, you know, they have to, like,
Straws
and all that and breathe, and it's very hard to do. So, like, I guess it would be like that for,
Yeah.
you don't have to breathe out of your
Yeah, put some
thing,
plaster of Paris up your butthole. I don't know. I just feel like they're all the same butthole, and you know, like there's nobody's gonna complain. Like, write a Yelp review. Like, this is not Farrah Abraham's butthole.
I've seen a lot of films with Tanya Tatila, and Tanya Tatila, I believe that this is not hers. I think I'm writing an angry review. I don't feel like this is what I've been a fan. I've gone to her shows. Tanya, like those guys with the big cameras around their necks.
There's nothing
Old
sadder.
school porn.
Nothing sadder than
Old school porn stuff. Conventions.
it's over. Except for you know, the one that now is, I guess they're back to porn. I was listening to you and Justin
Yes,
talk
it's
about
back.
it.
It's back.
Yeah.
Some people feel that was just a big publicity stuff.
100%.
Just to get people talking about it. We're not going to have. They
it.
had no intention of ever stopping that.
I agree.
But I was reading something that, you know, and who came in at page 6 looking to write about anybody. Do you remember Sydney Leathers?
Yes,
I
I
knew
know
you
her.
would.
I mean, she like writes me all the time on Twitter and stuff.
Sydney Leathers was she the one that
With,
exposed Anthony Weiner
Anthony
being a
Weiner.
perv?
Yeah.
Anyway, not a shock.
Yeah.
Big career on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, I would
Of
imagine
course.
that's her
Well,
whole thing.
What do you mean she's writing you all the time?
Well, we're just friends on Twitter, and she'll comment on my tweets. Like nothing. She's not writing me sexually or anything.
It
Just
must have been embarrassing being a child and having your last name Leathers, as if that's a real thing.
doing roll call in kindergarten. Sydney Leathers.
Do you
Sydney
remember on
Leathers.
Happy Days there was the character that was Fonzie's friend?
Leather
named-
Tuscadero.
Oh, yes.
Yes, of course I remember. She was
Leather.
actually a big, like, she has real hit songs.
Leather
Susie Quattro is her real name.
Remember that should go like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was
Weird.
like kind of like a little dykey, but
Yeah, but you couldn't say that.
couldn't say that
But
back
she
then.
rode a motorcycle too, and they
Yeah.
were just friends.
They were just friends.
They weren't fucking. I mean, how? And she had like a weird, an awful haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had
Yeah.
like a
They called it a
ducktail, not a ducktail.
yeah.
It's like a shaggy.
shag. The shag. My mother went and got it. I think
Because of leather.
no, it was somebody. There was a singer who had it. And my mother went and got the shag.
Pat Benatar.
No, way
Oh.
before that. Anne Murray.
Okay, let's talk about this. Speaking about love, a Belgian woman was banned from the zoo after a 4-year affair with a chimpanzee. Are you familiar?
I am
with the
familiar with
story?
the story.
This is her. She kind of looks like a Sharon Osbourne if Sharon Osbourne didn't have money
Yeah.
for plastic surgery. And she's very upset because what happened was she was going there every day. They'd wave and blow kisses. And they said that the zoo said, enough.
Right.
You're banned from visiting this chimpanzee because the chimpanzee is not hanging out with the other chimpanzees. They're kind of shunning him,
Yeah.
which happens. Like,
Because he's got a thing going on with it.
yeah, but like
human.
that happens with kids. Like Drake had a
Yeah.
friend who got a girlfriend, and I'd be like, "Where's that kid?" And he's like, "Oh, he's with his girlfriend." I'm like, "So you don't even invite him anymore?" No.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's exact same thing. So the chimpanzees were like, "Whatever, dude." So they said, according to the outlet, the affair involved the primate and the woman waving and blowing kisses to each other from the opposite side of the glass, and it would surround the apes enclosure. The zoo recently expressed concern about the lengthy relationship and why he never asked her to marry him. No, claiming it's negatively impacting the what's his name? Cheetah's. It's his
Cheetah.
name. Cheetah's rapport with the zoo champion. When Cheetah is constantly busy with visitors, the other monkeys ignore him and don't consider him part of the group. Even though that is important, he then sits on his own outside of visiting hours because he's like, I'm just waiting for his girlfriend, I guess. The animal that is too focused on people is less respected by its peers.
I want to say this, and even before the story came out, this is a real thing. I've been now to the L.A. County Zoo 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months with my daughter.
Because you're dad. But prior to that, you never went to the zoo for your entire adult life, I'm sure.
Yes, never.
I hated the zoo, and I actually never went with my kids.
Well,
Go on.
there are real people hanging out outside the ape and chimpanzee cage, and I'm not kidding. They think there was like 5 women, almost like they're hanging outside like a concert to see Mick Jagger, and they were really. Even the zookeeper had to say. I heard her say something to like
really?
they're not. She kept saying, the one woman kept saying, "Oh, that's the ape's name is Angela." And she kept going, "Angela's looking at me. Angela's my friend. Angela knows me." She was telling another person, like, I come every day and Angela knows me. And the zookeeper finally had to say something like, "Angela does not know who you are." Like, she was saying it to other people, but like looking at her, like, Angela does not make that connection to.
So it's almost like they're like the stars.
Yes.
They're stars, and people are like, these are the stalkers that are like, I've had a full relationship with Katy Perry for 5 years, and Katy Perry's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So the Angela could be like, hey, I blow kisses, or this guy, Cheetah, I blow kisses to fucking everybody, okay?
I know.
Like, that's what I do.
This is doing on a show.
Like, just like me, I'm singing to the crowd.
Yeah, like the chimpanzee's like, I'm going to go down and blow a kiss to this broad. Hang on. Woo, woo, woo. And the other chimpanzees back there, like, oh, look at this.
God, yeah, like,
right.
you know, and then he's just like, yeah, whatever, chicks love me. Or it's almost like, will this be the new thing, like that, you know, people fall in love with prisoners because they're always there anytime they want
telling
a
you,
date.
this is a real thing.
This is a captive audience, a captive boyfriend.
Right.
That's why people like dating guys in prison.
Right.
They go there every Sunday, and the guy's not going to blow off the Sunday visit, you know? So this chimpanzee, like, they're like, but... Okay, I guess if I was a zoo person, I would be like, could you? But I don't know. This is all they have to live for, these women and men. It's going to the zoo.
They go every single day. I think you can get like a pass.
Of course,
and you can go every day. And they go every day and look at the monkeys. And I'll say this, the monkeys are pretty cool, and they are, you know, charismatic. You do kind of get, like, if they do look at you, you're like, oh, wow, like, I'm in.
Yeah. What about a mountain lion? Are they as charming?
No, they're out there fucking their sisters. They don't waiting for a bridge to be built. I took my daughter, you know, whatever, $75 to get in a zoo, and they have whatever it is.
$75. I hope you got a pass.
We belong to like the zoo community.
Thank God.
Or whatever.
Okay. Well, Jesus.
But you know, and there's giraffes, and they're all like, my daughter couldn't care less. Like, there's a giraffe, there's the ape. A little lizard comes running across the little path. And she goes, look at the lizard. I'm like, that's not part of the zoo.
We have lizards at home.
Yeah, the lizard's here anyway. Like, I look at the fucking giraffe. I paid $75. She was, and now every time I talked about the zoo, she goes, remember the lizard? I'm like, yeah, I remember the lizard, but that wasn't part of the zoo.
That wasn't part of what I paid for. Wow. So I don't know. I mean, good luck to this woman. I mean, what people fall in love with cars, you know, there was a whole show about, you know, the blow up dolls, everything. Mm-hmm. People just looking for some love. People, you know, fall in love with just an asshole. That's just like, hey, baby, you know, okay. This Nirvana thing.
Yeah.
You heard about this?
I have.
So the kid is suing Nirvana, and the people, the photographer, I don't know if he's suing his parents, but his parents never signed a release. But then people said, well, do you realize that the same guy has reenacted this photo throughout his life?
Right. But, you know, in his defense, his pee-pee's never out in any of them.
No, it isn't. Yeah. And then he realized, I talked about this with Justin. I think what happened was, he saw an opportunity to make some money.
Right.
Can't blame him for that. But also, I think someone made fun of it. Like, I think he's like now he's like 27. So no, I would think he would have been past that age. But the time where it would have been traumatic is when he was like 12. Yeah. When he was doing these things. And now it's like 27 he's suing. So I think it's a total bullshit thing. But I do think the parents were pretty lame not to have secured some type of money.
Well, I think it's a great, because he's like smart. He's not asking for $20 million. He's asking like $200,000.
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, just to shut it up, just give him $200,000.
No, it's $150.
Oh, okay.
Against 6 people. So $150 times 6.
Oh, he wants like Dave Grohl and like the money from everybody in the band.
I don't know if it's Dave Grohl. It's just like a couple people and the
Yeah.
photographer, but it is the Kurt
Yeah,
Cobain.
the foundation. Or whatever.
So
Yeah.
like I guess Courtney Love would have to get involved. And I think he probably did that just to add this more publicity. But I mean, I would. I
Yeah.
mean, he does deserve some. Now I think he does deserve some money.
Yeah, give him
So
some.
what? That they can afford it.
The other thing is, it's such an iconic image. Like, it's on T-shirts at Target and stuff. So, I mean, you see it everywhere.
Yes.
Like, he got to give him something.
Okay,
That's
I've
his
changed my
face.
mind now. Who cares? Give him some money.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of which, then I looked up some other times there because I said, I bet there's going to become a time when kids are now suing their parents for just putting them on this earth. Like, you
Yeah.
gave birth to me without my consent. Now I have to have jobs, and I don't.
Uh-huh.
This is a lot of life. So we found this one. This is from 8 months ago. A son won a lawsuit after parents destroyed his porn collection.
Oh, what did he get? Oh, $29,000.
Yeah. And I have to say, I have kind of a connection to this story.
How so?
So my sister moved out of her room at like 18 or whatever and left all her shit there. And one day, my dad would make us work all summer long. We either had to solicit listings, drop off mailers, whatever,
Right.
stuff all envelopes. So he's like, clean out your sister's closet in there because we're going to make that room some other kid's room. And so I went into her closet. I found all these, not all these, but a few Playboys and penthouses and stuff.
Whoa.
And I loved it. I read this lesbian article in a Cosmo. Like, I was like 9. I was like, oh my God. She just had it because she was like, knew the girls or went to Playboy Mansion or whatever. She wasn't a lesbian. But in there was the Vanessa Williams.
I remember it.
The Vanessa Williams magazine.
Yeah, her pictorial.
And I remember seeing it and being like, oh, this is pretty bad. Like, this girl's like licking her or whatever. But it really wasn't. It was like staged. It was staged. Like, she was like, and this, for those of you who don't know, Miss America did this like a couple years before she became Miss America. They waited till the 11th month. They brought it out. And it was this huge thing. And she really is the only famous Miss America in the
she's
end.
the
So
only
it was
one who
very
ever went on to
traumatic
have
at the time, but it was like, and she was the first black Miss America. So it was a big deal. And she was really like, her career was like doing really well till it came out. Then it took a little drop and then it was huge again. But that magazine is even worth more because Tracy Lords was in it.
Oh,
And when she was underage, so they had to
underage,
remove
yeah.
all the magazines wherever.
Yeah, right.
So if you had one, that was really worth a
Yeah.
lot.
Wow.
Or maybe I guess if you had one now, you could be considered
A
in
perv.
possession of porn. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, I threw it away.
Good. Yeah.
And my sister was like, where's my penthouse? That's like a classic thing. That's like a major part of history. And I'm like, well, too bad. I threw it away. It's nasty. Like, I'm the 9-year-old that's like a nun, like removing shit. But
the funny thing is, like, none of that stuff is worth as much as you think, though. If you went and looked it up, it'd be like,
Right.
it's worth $75. You're like, oh, well.
I'm sure someone will look it up for us. We'll find out it's like worth $5,000.
Well, that'd be good.
Well, now I feel weird that I said this because now I probably will be hit
Do you
with
remember
a lawsuit. But I was underage.
Remember Madonna? The hairy armpit? Remember her?
Yes.
That came like right after Vanessa Williams. I kind of remember.
That she did some.
Yeah, there were old photos that she had done when
Right.
she was like living in downtown New York or whatever, artsy type photos. But the hairy armpit was something. Now it's more of a thing, but
Right.
back then you never saw the hairy armpit, and she was.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Shocking.
Now hairy armpits again are in.
It's in.
It's in.
Yeah.
Hairy legs, hairy armpits, go
It's the-
for it.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
just-
no genders anymore.
So with
Everybody-
this one, the judge said yeah, and made the parents pay like $22,000 or something to the son.
Yeah.
They said, it was not your right to toss it. And they're like, well, he was living in our house and we saw ourselves as landlords. But as you know, tenants and everybody, their shit is their shit. No one can throw their shit away.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if it's on the street. Doesn't matter if it's,
Yeah.
that no one, that's the rules. Can't take anybody's stuff.
No.
So be careful of that. But that'll be the new thing of stealing, like tossing your kid's stuff. So then this one. I don't know if this story is true or not. They said an Indian man did sue his parents for giving birth to him.
Oh, I'm sure there's probably, there's a lot
And
of those frivolous
this was
lawsuits.
2019. He just said, why should I suffer? Why should I be stuck at work? I didn't ask for this. But I kind of wonder if this is like a joke.
Yeah.
I don't
could
know.
Be.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about the Kim Kardashian at
They got married again.
Yes.
In,
What they said they're
Soldier
not getting back
Field,
together,
and
but they did like some weird thing at his
it was
concert.
in Chicago.
What do you know about it?
It was in Chicago, Soldier Field. He built his childhood home in the center of the field, and I guess it was a listening party or something for his
Okay.
new album. And what I had read is he invited not only Kim came in a Balenciaga haute couture.
Yes.
The
Wedding, well, similar to her wedding dress. Yes.
Marilyn Manson was there. He
Oh.
came on stage.
Gross. Why would you include him? He's got major controversy happening.
That's what they're saying. He
Yeah.
invited the baby, who I guess a few weeks ago had done some homophobic slurs on stage.
But he said, well, he was the only person that came out publicly to say that he would have voted me for president. That's why he invited the baby.
Oh, I thought you meant you. I thought the baby said, I thought you were talking about yourself. Wait, the baby was going to vote for you for president? Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
baby said he would vote for Kanye for president.
And that's why he was like, okay, then you're invited to my Dawn Day concert.
Well, Marilyn Manson was there as well. The baby, Marilyn Manson, and I saw them on the front porch of the makeshift house that they made.
Yes.
And I don't know if they sang together or that whatever. It's
I just want to say, just the publicity of this all, like that we're talking about it, that I'll go along with that. I mean,
sure.
is this confusing to the kids? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're going to do? It shows like, well, we're not getting married again, but we're friends. But we're getting divorced, but then we're celebrating the fact that at one time, like, we actually did get married. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I'm sure it's all very confusing to the kids.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But, and then people are like, is it really her? Why? How do we even know it was her? But I think it was. Didn't have to be there. You didn't see her face. It could have.
They never showed the face? I didn't.
No,
I just saw
it
this
absolutely
picture.
could have been like.
Yeah.
But I think it was her. Why not?
All right.
I guess
well.
you just want your baby daddy to.
But what
make money.
is this an actual concert? Because I kept reading a listening party, like, and there were people in the crowd, like there was a lot of people in the stands. I was like, so
I
you're
think
going
it feels
to?
like, so what? So do you have to pay for a ticket?
I guess so.
And then, I don't know. Whatever. I feel like it was kind of like an art thing.
Yeah, well,
like
that's what
almost
he
like an
always
art
did.
installation type of weird thing.
Yeah.
Like combo. Is he still doing the clothes with the holes in it?
Yeah, I believe. And well, the album's out now, and I guess I read this morning kind of a bad review for the album. So, if you want to check it, it's about the mother. More.
Yeah.
The album's about his mother.
Oh, well, okay. Speaking of which, this is some juice. Scott Peterson,
Right.
you know this crime. Anyway, he's off death row, and now they're asking for a new trial, which actually I found out that sometimes, it's harder to get a new trial when you're off death row. But he's off death row. They're asking for a new trial because there's all this evidence. This was Scott Peterson, his wife, who was pregnant, went missing, and then months later, her body washed up on a shore that he, in fact, was.
On Christmas Eve.
Yes,
at
he was
like midnight.
fishing.
He went fishing.
No, it wasn't midnight.
No,
it was in the morning.
Yeah, but it was like 3:00 in the morning or some crazy thing.
Then
It
he went
wasn't-
fishing. No, it wasn't.
Wasn't?
No, he went fishing in the morning. He said, I was gonna go golfing Christmas Eve, but I felt it was too cold to golf, so I decided to go fishing, which to me seems like a colder activity.
Of course.
Up in Northern California. She then planned on walking the dog and doing some cooking or whatever. He comes home hours later, and someone had let the dog back in the backyard because they'd seen the dog walking around with the leash on it, and they were like, "Oh, that's weird. The dog must have gotten out." Put the dog in the backyard. So there's all these people that said they did see her walking the dog. The prosecutor always said, no, he must have killed her like by strangulation or suffocation because there was no blood or anything in the house. Got rid of the body when he went fishing. And then months and months later, it washes up ashore.
And she was pregnant at the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
it washes up ashore. And their defense is, no, she was alive. Someone kidnapped her and then put her in that ocean knowing that I was a suspect.
Yeah. Why? And like this one is one of those that is like, I mean, this guy is 100% guilty of that crime.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, yes.
I do think there's definitely some things that they did not follow up on that were very weird. And so I do think they deserve a new trial. I really do.
Why is he taken off death row? I didn't know that was the case. I didn't know he was taken off death row.
I guess because there's enough saying that he needs a new trial. So
Yeah.
why are we even pursuing death if there's like any question?
Right.
So, yeah, there is a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot. There was this person across the street, right across the street, and this is the biggest thing. There was a robbery, and the police screwed up on the day that they said the robbery happened after she was missing.
Right.
There's now evidence saying no, the robbery happened that morning, the day she went missing.
Yeah.
So could it be that she was taking the dog for the walk, saw the robbery happening, and she was like, "Hey, what the hell is going on?" They grabbed her, and then
No, a couple of cat burglars robbing a house to look for a couple of bucks don't now get kidnapping and murder. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. I'm no detective, but I'm kind of a detective. This just doesn't
all
happen.
right, well, that is basically it.
Yeah.
Also, there was another woman,
And
who
it was Amber Frey. That was her name, right?
Yeah, that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who this also wasn't great. Is
right.
that
he had
said,
a full-on relationship.
Yes, and when they met, he said, "Oh, this is going to be hard Christmas for me because this will be the first Christmas without my wife. She died."
Yeah.
Not, "I'm totally single." Not, "I'm divorced."
And wasn't
but I
he-
have a dead wife, and then she actually dies.
And he was like, wasn't he with Amber Frey, who didn't live that far away from him,
Right.
an hour or so?
Yeah.
And he would he would tell the other girl that he was in Paris or something, and he was in
Amber
just-
Frey. No, Amber Frey was a girl. Yeah.
Right,
He
right.
said, "I'm in Paris. It's New Year's Eve." But he was actually taking the call away from a candlelit vigil for his wife.
Yeah.
That wasn't great either.
I see all of this just points
Then
to.
when they pulled him over, he had all this money in his car.
Yeah.
And he had dyed blonde hair. And he was very close to the Mexican border.
Uh-huh.
But
So
if
why
I
aren't
had
any-
all that evidence against me
Yeah.
too, I would dye my hair blonde and try to go to Mexico as well.
Right.
I pretty much
Right.
know I'm going to be convicted.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of my.
gonna be a tough
It
one.
is hands down. These are my 3 favorite cases of all times.
Oh.
We'll watch it over and over.
I'm
and
with
over
you on
again.
this one. Fascinating.
Now this one was a whodunit. We still don't have 100%
It had
positivity.
all the elements that make it great. Another woman, a
Yes.
pregnancy, cute couple, good looking. They're all good looking.
Yes.
You know, everything about it was
Right.
just perfect for this type of.
And I was like, I was pregnant too with my son. So it was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, and this is like, and the guy golfs. It's like he's like a
Right.
Peter and everything about it. And so I'm still fascinated by that. This one I'll watch a million things on. Betty Broderick, even though we know she did the crime, love that one.
Right.
The Melendez brothers, even though we know they did it, still
Yeah.
fascinating. Those are all my favorite.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, like, usually guys like this get married in prison, have a bunch of girls. I wonder if because he was on death row, he didn't have the freedom that other lifers get to, like the Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
Is it Melendez or Menendez?
Menendez.
Well, okay.
Melendez is Stuttering John.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The Menendez brothers that they've both been married and divorced twice or something.
Yeah.
Like they've had
From
full
prison.
relationship. Yeah, from prison. And I wonder if why, because I'm assuming a lot of girls.
I heard he's getting married to a chimpanzee.
I mean, once you get banned from
Right.
the chimpanzee, I'm telling you, Scott Peterson's available, you guys.
This one is, it's fascinating. I would like more. Give me more. I'll listen to more evidence.
Let's talk about Britney Spears. This
Okay.
this is from her Instagram, and someone brought it to my attention that it looks photoshopped. It's her in a crop top, and she looks happy and cute. And then Sam, her boyfriend, is standing next to her, and they felt it looked like he was photoshopped in.
That's a good call. I saw that you sent me this thing, and I would have never seen that. Whoever came up with that is amazing. But now that I look at it, it does look photoshopped. It kind of, but maybe
But I don't
not.
know why, because I mean, we do know they're together.
Yeah,
we see
why
they're
would they
together, but
Photoshop
I
it?
don't know. It just seemed weird. I don't know what's going on with it. Any thoughts of the latest? People don't like you because they don't think you're supportive of her being free.
No, I'm not. I am supportive of her being free. What I don't think is you're going to get back a 100% lucid touring album making Britney Spears. That's all I'm saying.
Without the conservatorship
No.
that's making her do
Conservatorship
it.
or otherwise, I don't know if you're going to get. And I know
And
here,
the other thing is, is she's like pushing 40.
I know.
mean,
That's it. Yeah. It's just.
Even though 40-year-old people are super fit and can do a concert and everything, I mean, even eventually Madonna, who was so fit, after a while, like broke a hip, couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
Now 40 is much younger than that, and obviously she's spinning around, she's fit, she can dance. But you're right. I mean, you can't. Sometimes you just don't have the energy that you might have had at 30, regardless of your situation. Okay, this is kind of crazy. Do you ever watch Flip or Flop? Do you know the story behind this?
I know of it, and I know the people.
So Tarek Musso, he was married to Christina. And they had 2 kids, and they were on Flip or Flop, and they were super cute. And they redid the. Anyway, they had an awful. They got in fights. Then they got divorced. But then they were like, "Well, we're still going to work together."
Let's keep this show
So they
going.
still work together. But then there's been articles about how he screamed at her, and then they like had to cut that part out. Meanwhile, she gets with this other guy named Ant. And I think he has something to do. Like he's like a contractor or something, and they have a baby together. But then she breaks up with him.
Mm-hmm.
They get divorced.
Right.
Oh, he fixes cars.
Okay.
But he's like a television, like a cable
Yeah, he's
TV
on
guy.
something.
Then now he's with Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. And then the
girl
Tarek
from
guy is with the girl from Selling
Selling
Sunset. And I met her, and she's very nice. But her Instagram is one of those Instagrams that's all about her love with Tarek. It's just, you know, one of those that always starts with fun fact, and it's never funny and it's never interesting. Whenever someone says, whenever a social influencer goes, fun fact, I did my own makeup here.
Yeah.
All right. Like that's a fun.
I think it's what you always say when you get like it never ends well when you're too gushing over
Oh my God, gushing. And you know, she does a couple photos, like a couple slides of like her looking cute. Also, the other thing I hate is whenever there is a post of someone mid-laugh, can we all admit there's no fucking way that whoever was taking the photo made them laugh, took like 30 photos and was like, oh my God, use this one. You're laughing. It's so natural.
Right.
Like I do it. I'm always like fake laugh. I mean, when you do a photo, has anybody actually been laughing mid-laugh? Someone was taking photos and was like, that's the photo I'm posting.
No. Yeah. I'll say that mid-laugh always look, that and that was good. I was sold on that one.
Right.
The other one is ziplining. Like it never looks good on anybody. The trusses get you in a weird area. The helmet. Like every girl has never a flattering look on anybody. I don't care who you are. And every girl on Bumbles or whatever puts a ziplining photo on there to show people, hey, look, I'm fun. I can zip. But now this truss or whatever you're wearing is grabbing you in a weird spot.
Also, ziplining, no athletic ability needed.
No, they throw you off a hill.
They just push you.
Yeah.
It's like, and then some dude grabs you. It's like you act like, oh, I'm adventurous.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing less flattering than a ziplining photo is a skydiving photo. Because their air is like, and you have the goggles.
I'll tell you the only thing less flattering than that was what I went on vacation last week to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. And
they just sent me a bunch of pictures. And you know what is unflattering? Me in a pool with bright sunlight over my head. I was like, you throw every one of these pictures out. It is 12 o'clock in the afternoon in Scottsdale. That's why I feel bad for Caitlyn running for governor because she's got to go out there and do all these functions. She's got to be out like at a homeless encampment, and it's always 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a tough.
And I have to say, I respect her because she's just posting these photos. She's not doing any kind of filter because she probably doesn't know how and doesn't have the time. And whoever she's with, is not doing it either. They're like, throw it up. It's like, but I mean, there's some unflattering ones.
Yeah, there's some tough
ones. And it's hard because everybody else is doing all the stuff that when you see someone and like horrible lighting, you're like, holy shit.
Right.
Okay, well, moving on. Laura Papone has left the Church of Scientology.
I saw that.
Any thoughts there?
No, I don't.
I definitely feel like there's like any actor that's still in it is not talking about it, is not showing up because it flipped. It used to help you get parts. And then after Leah Remini, it was like, if you actually were in it, you better shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You better be like, I'll still give you money so that you don't ruin my life, but I'm not recruiting anybody. I'm not talking about it in interviews. I'm not going to stuff. I'm just not into it. So she left like 5 years ago.
So well, I mean, I feel like she was working a ton when she was in it. And now, you know,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, now I haven't heard from her in 5 years. I actually remember she played Chelsea in that sitcom or whatever? It's the weirdest thing.
Chelsea in the sitcom, yeah.
And Chelsea was in the sitcom, and everyone's like, why is Chelsea not playing Chelsea? It's Laura Prepon.
Yeah, it's Laura Prepon is going to play Chelsea in Are You There?
Yeah.
Are You There? No, it was called Are You There, Chelsea? It's me. No.
Whatever.
No, Are You There,
Are
Vodka?
You There, Chelsea? It was called. That was it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Are You There, Chelsea? That's what it was
Yeah.
called. Okay, yeah. You worked on it.
I did. That's what I'm saying. I worked with Laura Prepon a lot.
And I just remember us at Chelsea lately, and they were casting the parts, and I remember like our executive producer was working on it too. Goes, there's another casting session for some other parts, and we have to go to the Valley from the West Side today at 3. And she goes, just pick the people we already have.
Ali Wong. That's who she picked. She was like, just pick that Asian girl, and it turned out to be Ali Wong, who's now like
She's like, I can't drive to the Valley every
world.
time for a
Yeah.
casting, thing.
I
And
remember
I'm like, well, it is your sitcom about your life. You don't think you maybe want to like go to one more casting? I'm fine. And the people were funny, whatever.
we were like
But-
5 episodes in. This is no joke. We
Yeah.
were like 5 episodes in, filming every day with Ali Wong and Laura Prepon and everybody else
Yeah.
who was involved. And at one point, we're sitting in the trailer, Chelsea, myself, and Tom and Brad. And Ali Wong comes walking in the trailer to say hi to everybody. And
Yeah.
she walks out, and Chelsea's like, who's that? And I'm like, you've been working with her for a month and a half, like closely, like every scene you're together. She has, I don't even know who that is.
Well, anyway, yeah, I don't know. That was so weird.
Yeah.
And then it was like she was the sister with the wig, and it was I remember it was a $7,000 brown wig for Chelsea.
I remember that.
And I was like, God, that's how much a real wig costs. Okay.
I also remember
Yeah.
we filmed right across from 2.5 Men when the other kid took over. Ashton Kutcher took
Yes.
over. And he had like a big trailer outside that was like, he had famous parties.
Oh, yes.
At the end of the filming, he would have a party at the end. And I mean, it looked like Studio 54 on the set. There were girls, like lines of women waiting to get into the party.
Didn't you get to go once?
I mean, outside, like stood outside.
Oh, I thought that like
Yeah,
Chuck
they
Lorre
invited.
you
Yeah,
or
they invited
something.
us over, but we never went because we had to write bad jokes for till 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, what a
Wait,
nightmare!
wasn't there a joke about wings? And you were like, "That's in everybody's act."
Yeah. Well, I
What
mean,
was it?
everything was.
It was Peckers or something. Let's call a show that has what was it? Let's have a
yeah.
rest that.
Yeah, instead
whatever.
of Hooters, it's called Peckers. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, speaking of great comedy, Chris D'Elia has returned to stand-up stage with a surprise performance a year after misconduct allegations. This is from The Hollywood Reporter, not LA Times, because it was the LA Times that ripped him a new asshole and one that he couldn't put together, even with the proper gel. So it wasn't them. And this goes on, and I just thought it was funny the way it was written. This is from a source that was
Okay.
there. So he did an unannounced set at the Laugh Factory that included jokes about being canceled, seeking therapy, and self-loathing. Everyone seemed happy he was there, quote unquote, says a source at the show. He delivered an unannounced set and it included jokes. Wait, here I just said that. They talk about who the lineup was, but then it says the crowd had a positive response, says the source who took in the show. There was definitely no booing, that's for sure. I was expecting backlash or negative energy, but really everyone seemed happy he was there and really happy to enjoy the show. D'Elia proceeded to deliver a 20-minute stand-up set that marked the comedian's return to the stage since facing a wave of allegations last summer of sexual how do you say that?
Improprieties?
Yes, and engaging in lewd conversations with women, some of whom were underage at the time. So then he, talks about what he did, how he said it was consensual, and everyone was of age. The source also says that last Saturday night show, who wished to remain anonymous, the source wishes to remain anonymous, the one that's gushing about him.
Right.
Okay. The Hollywood Reporter, that they were aware of the allegations against him, but they preferred it separate, quote, separate personal from professional. The source called his set, quote unquote, absolutely hilarious, and quote, the best of the night, end of quote. Adding that D'Elia did not directly address the scandal, but he did jokes about being canceled multiple times. He opened up on seeking therapy and confronting anger issues and navigating the joys of fatherhood after having his first child and son, while at the same time dealing with the heavier stuff. It was a lot of self-loathing humor. At one point, he made some crude jokes and said that he wasn't, that he wasn't sure if he crossed the line, but he couldn't be canceled twice. I mean, hilarious.
Right,
the source also said he was very funny about it.
Yeah.
Other jokes, he called out a man in the front row for being, quote, too handsome and too fit. I mean, dying. And pointed out to another male audience member in the corner who was wearing shorts for an evening, for the evening show. And Chris D'Elia said, quote unquote, from the source, he asked that guy if his mom let him leave the house like that.
Shorts.
Have you ever heard better crowd work than that, Chris?
No, this
After
is good
D'Elia
stuff.
rapped, the audience responded with a generous reception. The source concluded it was very, very, very well received, and everyone clapped.
This source doesn't. I mean, this is a guy who paid a lot of attention.
And he didn't even know he was going to be there that night.
And he also writes for the Hollywood Reporter?
No.
Oh.
That source called the Hollywood Reporter.
Called the I wouldn't
and
even...
just said, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Some inside scoop. I was at the Laugh Factory.
Right.
And I mean, every single person, ear to ear smile.
Yeah.
Chris D'Elia has returned.
So
we
exciting.
love it. It's separated. Separated. Who cares that a girl claimed that she was raped by him when she was in high school? No.
He made fun of a guy's shorts. Didn't you guys hear that part?
This guy had shorts on.
Yeah.
It's
in
California.
Los Angeles.
Okay, we're in Los Angeles. This guy still had shorts on.
In the left.
And he's in the audience.
It's crazy.
And Chris, the fucking man,
Yeah.
points it out.
Put on
I
some-
mean, peeing, people buckling over.
Yeah. Put on some pants, my
What?
friend.
I hope he's at the Laugh Factory every night because everyone loved it.
Yeah.
It was the best of the night. Who do you think the source was, Chris?
Well, the funny thing is, his dad. No, his dad's like a famous director. or
right. I
something,
don't know
right?
why.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is it possible that the dad, who's a famous director and producer, could know like
Someone
an
at
actual
Hollywood
reporter,
Report,
like might have an email of the reporter at Hollywood Report?
Yeah.
No. People in Hollywood don't know each other like that.
Yeah.
No, this just must have been a random guy in town just wanted to go to the Laugh Factory and was like, I'm not just going to leave a positive Yelp review on the Laugh Factory site. I'm going to find a reporter at the Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to tell him about the night I had in Hollywood.
So in the end,
Yes.
there is no such thing as cancel culture, really, because you can.
No, there isn't. So
Louis
just
C.K.
relax.
is back on tour. I mean, I think the only ones who are gonna have a tough time is like a Kevin Spacey. I don't know if you're gonna see him in like big time Hollywood movies anymore.
No.
And like maybe Matt Lauer. He's tried a few times, but then some other stuff has come out. And,
When you're TV replaceable.
yeah, I
But
think.
then even like Billy Bush came out, but I always felt
Billy
like,
Bush didn't do
I
it.
always felt Billy Bush was just like, yeah it's fine. But yeah.
Right.
And
So-
I mean, even Chrissy Teigen, like, really? I do think there's probably a couple TV opportunities that went away. And I don't know
Right.
that the TV opportunities will come back. But still, 33 million people follow her on Instagram
following.
still.
Yeah. You
They're
know, she's
not-
got have you heard about the French fry documentary? I sent you the story.
Yes, I talked about a little bit about that. You're excited to see that, right?
Yeah, she's, because I think it's funny, speaking of D'Elia and being funny, Chrissy Teigen's a model. She eats French fries. You understand how that could be funny?
I mean, she does not give a fuck.
No, she doesn't give a fuck.
I mean, she loves the
Yeah.
fries. She loves all different
Right.
kinds of fries. Oh, my God. And
She's actually created a fry sauce that she...
Is that true?
Yeah, no, she really did.
Oh.
It's like a real fry dipping sauce.
So
it's mustard, babe. It's mustard.
It's mustard, ketchup, and mayo
Yeah,
mixed
mixed
together
together.
with a hint of garlic.
And she put it's a Chrissy Teigen's fry sauce or whatever.
Oh my God! Well, there you go. Let's see. Well, your last thoughts before I let you go. Are you excited about our show, Sex and the City, the TV series?
Absolutely, I'm excited about it. Of course. I mean, I'm seeing some pictures. A lot of people taking pictures of them
Yes.
filming in the streets.
Yes.
And, it's interesting to see. I feel it's funny. I feel like Madonna goes through this too, and it's the last thing I think you can make fun of openly and not get shamed for. And I think I go through it, maybe you will get through it, is ageism. I find like you can't do racism, you can't do any other thing, you can't do an accent, you can't do anything, but you can go openly go, look at these old bitches, or Madonna, and that old bitch. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, why is that one still allowed? Like everybody can openly say, and I'm like, well, you understand, that's just the way the world works. Sarah Jessica Parker's older than she was than the last one.
Someone showed a picture of the character of Steve, who was married to Cynthia Nixon's character, and they're like, is he sick? I'm like, no, it's been 20 years since the show.
Right.
And he's a man. Like, he doesn't have a bunch of facelifts and fillers in. Like, look at your... Yeah, I know. You know, he's not Rob Lowe that still looks like fucking hot.
Yeah.
But, you know, who hasn't drank in 20 years and was hot to begin with and is hot today. Most people do age and look not as cute as they did 20 years prior.
Right. It's amazing. And I feel like Madonna, when it was just her birthday recently, she's 62 or whatever. And underneath the picture, I was like, look at this old bitch. And I'm like, I don't understand.
I know, what are you supposed to do? Not celebrate your birthday?
Right.
You're supposed to just go away? She has a 27-year-old boyfriend. So what? Who cares?
Yeah.
That guy, you think his parents are upset that he's dating Madonna? I'd be like, my God, enjoy yourself, son. Like, go have some fun. Who cares? I know. It's totally true. It's just, it's all about that.
It's all I read every time I see the pictures of them walking down the street, you know, filming. Everyone is like, look at these old bitches still out. Can you believe these gross women are walking the streets? I'm like, Jesus, they're only 55. It's not
I know, and it's like, you know, but everyone loves Golden Girls, but the Golden Girls were 55 acting like they were 70.
Right, yeah,
They
exactly.
don't like to see a 55-year-old woman still wearing heels, having fun, probably talking about sex, you know, and everything else. No, I love that they're doing it. I can't wait to watch it. I'll never miss it.
I'll say this about 55. I was going back to my vacation that I just took in Scottsdale, Arizona. I was with 12 people. All my family members, some family members, some friends of family who were all above 50.
Yeah.
And it was the most relaxing vacation I've ever been on because at this point, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
I walked out to the pool every day. I was like, oh, we all look like this now. Yeah. And it was the greatest. No, I felt no pressure to, you know, look amazing. Nobody brought someone 22-year-old who was like, oh, now you're ruining it for everybody. But I say everybody should embrace their age. Thank you very much.
Embrace the age and embrace Chris Franjola at a live show. Chris?
Live show, Philadelphia. What? City Winery. Added October 3rd, Saturday night. Added a second show. Sold out the first one. Added a 6 p.m., which you were very angry with when I told you, what about a 6 p.m.? And you were like, wait, I never thought of that.
I never thought of that. So my second shows start at like 9:30, which isn't too late.
No.
But I don't know. Let me know how that 6 o'clock show goes.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm promoting it on here, because I don't know if it's going great. So 6 p.m.,
Listen,
Philadelphia.
Guys, first of all, you're going to see
City
me in
Winery.
Philly. I'm going to be there the 24th.
I'm with
25th.
you in New York.
You're with me in New York. I'm in there in Philly. And so I'll be pushing your show when I'm there to get that 6 p.m.
Thank
show.
you. Yeah.
Listen, who doesn't enjoy drinking at 6? Then you go to a dinner, but you could also eat there.
It's perfect.
You go there for dinner after, or you're just in your bed by 8.
I know. That's exactly.
Yeah.
This is what you
Why
want.
not? And Peter and I went to a luau party.
I saw the picture.
Yes.
That was fun. No?
It was
I feel like that's also a bit of a cultural appropriation. How could that?
That's what I thought, because in
Yeah.
White Lotus, the girl gets so mad that, you know, she feels badly that this guy is dancing when I'm not giving anything away. I've talked about the show, but like, you know, that these Hawaiians are dancing while on their land that maybe white people took to make a Four Seasons. No, we saw the dancing. I think they were happy to be dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also saw you with some people who were Hawaiian.
Yes.
But I think a couple of them looked like they were Mexican, and they put a little, they tried to make them. Because it's, in Los Angeles. It's
Right.
hard to find,
Any Hawaiians
hard to
are
find
just
four
hanging
Hawaiians.
out. Yeah.
So I think they got a couple of Mexicans. It was like, just this guy
But
looks
they can
Hawaiian.
dance, and they danced well,
Yeah.
and it's a Hawaiian theme, and it was fun.
Kind of like the time we shot that thing for Chelsea Lately when we needed all little people and we had to let the one girl go because she wasn't an actual little person.
Oh yeah, she showed up, and
She
we're
showed
like, that girl's just under
Just short. She
was just like a 4. I heard, and then she was 4'10", which legally does make you a little person. Like you
Right.
could get a placard.
Oh,
for a
you can?
car. Yeah, because your
Yeah.
legs are little. That's a
Yeah.
lot of walking to do. You should be able to park closer. But
Yeah.
that she was just short, so she didn't qualify as a little
Right.
person. And then I mean that was me. Why didn't you guys just throw her in the back?
I mean, thinking back on some of the things we like, someone went up to her and said, "You can't because you're not short enough." We could have, like, everything we did on that show would have gotten us arrested today.
I know. And then that was just so yeah, I agree. But it was that kind of a thing where it's like
I remember going up to, like, Chelsea's like, "Get that one guy to come out as gay at the end of the show," like as our closing joke. He was a new, like, intern, and he was effeminate. So I walk up to him and I'm like, "Oh, at the end of the show, you're gonna come out as gay," and he's like, "I'm not gay." And I'm like, "Oh, you seem really gay." And he's like, "I don't think you could say that to me." And I'm like, "Well, if you want to be on TV, can you be gay for 30 seconds?"
you always had to come up with a closing joke.
yeah,
that was your
yeah,
job.
yeah,
So
closing-
what did he do?
He said, "No, I would not do it." And then I think later on, years later, he came out as gay. And I'm like, "Well, you could have done it years before in
Made my
grand,
Tuesday
in grand
easier.
fashion."
On that note,
All
for
right.
inappropriate cancellation of us,
Yeah.
everyone follow Chris, listen to his podcast, Cover to Cover. Go to,
Cover to cover.
what's your website for your tickets?
Franjola.com, cover to cover.
And then,
is
of
the
course, we
podcast.
will be in New York, 3 shows, November 4th and 5th. Chris, you don't even know this, but I almost canceled the show
Why?
because it is Drake's family weekend at ASU. And I had a couple of people saying I should cancel it, that I should enjoy this mother moment. And I said, but I promised Chris and all. So it better be
Oh,
a
you don't.
fucking.
You can cancel for me.
Shut up. It
Oh.
better be a fucking great show.
Oh, okay.
It better be sold out. Otherwise, I'll be furious.
I'm getting a lot of people saying they're excited about it. So
Yes. So that's November 4th and 5th. Everything is at Heather McDonald. And also, Chris will be with me in Nashville at the end of November.
I was at ASU this weekend, like right there.
Yeah.
It's in Scottsdale.
I know. He's
If you ever
having
need a
fun. He's
house to
having a good
stay
time.
at, I got a spot for you, and she give you a big deal.
Wait, we do. He has to go for family weekend because he's going to go without me.
8-bedroom mansion.
Oh no, I don't want it to be too fun if I'm going to miss it.
Fans
I don't want them to have
of
good
this
times.
show gave me a good deal.
Do you think
I'll hook you up.
Do you think they'll still give a good deal if it's just Peter and not me? People, lot of parties and stuff.
They will because I sold it. They gave me the deal thinking you were coming, and I kind of like, she might.
Maybe I roll in on Monday and spend one
Yeah.
last night. Okay, love you.
Love you. Bye.